traveler, political officer, administrator, and archaeologist who explored and mapped areas and traveled in Greater Syria, Mesopotamia, Asia Minor, and Arabia. She played a major role in establishing and helping administer the modern state of Iraq. And the play is the first piece by our well-loved Jan Eliot. It is entitled The Love of Baghdad, and it is directed by Mary Weatherby, and our actors are Elsa, played by Melissa Sherwood, Gertrude by Sophia Dimitru, and stage directions will be read by Eric Raymond.
For the Love of Baghdad by Jan Eliot. Characters: Gertrude Bell, an unmarried Victorian woman in her 40s. Elsa Bell, her sister, a few years younger. Setting: Elsa's London apartment. It is elegantly decorated, and there is a fire in the fireplace. Time: late evening, May 1st, 1915. Elsa sits in front of the fire reading. Gertrude bursts in. She is wearing a feather hat and a fur boa and is visibly distraught.
Gertrude? Why are you home so early? What's the matter?
Elsa, I am destroyed.
Why?
What happened? Dick has been killed at the Turkish front.
When? How?
His landing party encountered a surprise attack. It was a bloodbath.
Awful, Gertrude. When did you hear?
Just now, at the dinner party. Since no one knows we are so close, the news was just blurted out. I was so stunned. I dropped my glass. It was all I could do not to scream. I ran out without any goodbyes.
What a horrible shock.
I just can't believe he's gone. How will I exist without him?
I am so sorry. I know how much you loved him.
I am so glad you're home. You're the only one who could possibly stand my weeping.
Weep? Cry? Moan? What are sisters for? Let me get you a brandy.
Elsa pours brandy from a side table.
Elsa, what will my life be now? How can I possibly go on?
Does anyone else know about the two of you?
I've only confided in you. I was worried for a while that his wife might suspect, but now I think she knows nothing or prefers to pretend she knows nothing. Elsa, he was the love of my life.
I know. You will find a way to go on.
How? And more importantly, why?
What other choice is there? And don't say death. You still have so much to gain from life.
I have nothing more to gain. My life is over. I have been so lonely without marriage, and he was so lonely within marriage. He's been released from his loneliness, but now I have to live with mine forever. I can't imagine going back to Baghdad now, without his letters, knowing he was thinking of me as I thought of him, both of us dreaming of the time we might have together. It kept me hopeful in my darkest places.
You will meet someone else, Gertrude.
I've lost two great loves to death. I'm 47. I can't imagine I will ever marry. Besides, few men in London want a wife whose intellect is greater than their own.
You could tuck some of that intellect away, you know.
I could not. I have an Oxford education. I've lived on my own in parts of the world few will even see. I will not tuck away my intelligence because it might intimidate someone.
I didn't mean to suggest that.
It's the one reason I loved Dick so much, because he loved that part of me. He loved me because of my intelligence.
But I still believe you will find someone else. There is a lot of good company in London. There is the Geographic Society. They have welcomed you and are always eager for you to speak. Surely, you will meet someone over time.
I don't want to give another lecture about the East. I need to experience the East. I speak 7 Arabic dialects. With whom will I converse here in London? I have slept with camels outside my tent, a gun next to my cot, and loved every minute of it. I made forays deep into the desert to map archeological treasures for the empire. How can I possibly resume the life of a lady in London?
You would rather sleep with camels and risk being killed by murderous sheiks who keep harems and live beyond the edges of civilization?
If the alternative is going to be tiresome dinners with puffed up gentlemen, or worse, sitting in parlors with stupid ladies, trapped in boring conversation over endless amounts of tea, of course I would. You speak of civilization as if it only exists here. Do you know why I wanted to learn Arabic?
No. Why?
I wanted to translate Arabic poetry. The Arab poets are unmatched in English literature, and the great sheiks can quote them all. They are learned men, schooled in things that are yet to be discovered in the drawing rooms of London.
Fine, but you can't go back to Baghdad. You said so yourself. And it's too dangerous now that the war's so close.
I doubt I have the strength, honestly, with Dick gone. No matter where he was posted, I felt he was with me, reading his letters and sending him my journals from the desert expeditions. I never felt alone, no matter how isolated I was. Even though we couldn't be together as often as we liked, our letters were filled with passion. Elsa, I gave him my soul.
But you kept your integrity, isn't that true? You don't have to feel any shame.
Because we never succumbed to sex. Every day I regret it. What did I fear? Pregnancy? I would gladly pay that price now. Oh, do you think they wonder what happened to me at the dinner party?
I'll send word that you were taken ill. An unbearable headache.
An unbearable heartache? Thank you for that.
Both sit quietly, sipping brandy.
More brandy?
Actually, I'd love a cigarette.
Elsa crosses the room and gets a cigarette for each of them, then stands in front of the fire.
What would Mother think?
What would Mother think of any of our modern life? Women fighting for the vote, discarding their corsets for something called a brassiere.
French, no doubt.
You can't deny that the French lead the way in some areas. Have you ever heard of the diaphragm?
Of course I've heard of it, but I would never speak of it.
That's where we're different. Why shouldn't we speak of it? It affects us. It will affect your daughters. I admire French women for their boldness, for their sexual freedom.
Perhaps you should go to France then.
Well, perhaps. But unfortunately, I only feel truly at home in the East. Somehow in Arabia, I can be my true self. I have freedoms I'm not able to claim here in Britain. And there is still so much to be discovered and chronicled. Did you know that before war broke out, I'd begun a map of Syria?
I don't know where you get your bravery.
Oh, curiosity, not bravery. How brave am I? When losing Dick sends me into a black abyss I fear I will never climb out of. I find myself wishing for a coward's end.
Don't even think that. I would miss you too much. We all would.
One more brandy then, for courage.
Do you think you could sleep?
I doubt it. Look, it's almost dawn.
Gertrude rises and moves to window.
It's going to be a beautiful day.
I can't imagine finding any day beautiful now.
The two sisters lean on the windowsill and watch the sunrise.
I nearly forgot. A letter arrived for you this afternoon.
Retrieving letter from side table.
Oh, it's from David Hogarth.
the archaeologist.
He's asking me to join him in Cairo.
Whatever for? Surely not an expedition in wartime.
If he's making an expedition, it's a cover. He's in service to the military now. He writes that naval intelligence wants to draft me as a spy.
Not seriously.
I doubt he meant it as a joke.
You wouldn't actually consider that, would you?
Why not? Work would bring me some much needed distraction. And I can't tell you how much delight I will get in having the same British officials who tried to keep me out of Arabia and decide they need me there now.
Well, when would you leave?
They want me to report to the offices in Cairo in 10 days.
10 days? How could you possibly be ready to travel so soon? Really, Gertrude? It's too much for you right now. And too dangerous.
I don't think the war holds much danger for me, Elsa. And even if it does, what do I have to lose? Besides, Hogarth will be there, and he has a young officer, Lawrence, with him. Hogarth has always been such a great mentor and friend. And I've met Lawrence. He's earnest and delightful. I'm sure that between them and the military intelligence team, I won't lack for company and security.
But you have just suffered a terrible shock.
Indeed. And now I have to get through this day that you claim will be beautiful.
It's just one day. You will manage this day. And then the next.
And on until my final sunset.
Don't be morbid.
Why not? It humors me. And between now and then, I will attempt to find purpose for this intellect of mine and try to ignore my shattered heart.
I can't change your mind.
Have you ever been able to?
No. To Cairo, then. And to my stubborn sister.
To Cairo and to Dick. May he find a way to be with me.
End of play.